day 3 material. We'll probably just touch on the material specifically relating to sling loading and airdropping cargo, or resupplies rather. All right, so typically speaking, we're going to be doing the resupplies based off of, obviously, we're going to get the call from Task Force Command based on the needs of ground forces at the time, or the requirements of the mission as they come through. When we get them or whatever, Dagger's going to provide us with a 5-line for resupply. And that's going to consist of the pickup grid marker description. Typically speaking, it's either going to be relayed as NA or our actual home base, unless there is an intermediary point or an LZ that we are picking up the supplies from, which to my knowledge is never done. The destination is obviously it's going to be set up an LZ or a target drop point based on the needs of the task force and where they have secured up to. So it'll be behind their lines. We obviously don't typically drop supplies ahead of friendly elements, simply because we don't want to be we don't want to drop supplies in enemy territory and then not have an accurate input of the forces on the ground, and then friendlies have to fight their way to a resupply crate, and also run the risk of it turning over to the enemies. Line 3 is going to be our hazards. So this specifically applies for if we're doing a resupply when troops are in contact, which typically is avoided. This will also apply for doing sling load resupplies. As the biggest thing that we have to worry about there is running into ground obstacles, hazards. So currently, like in our FTX cycle.
Hey Mark, how's it going?
In and around route,
yeah, doing good.
Our
Just
tree,
getting
tree
started
canopy
here
that we
at
work
some
around is
aviation
typically
training.
20 to 25 meters. So that's something that we have to be cognizant of if we're trying to drop it, say, in on a sling load in on a road or something. Because there might be a
How are
time
you doing,
where
Mark? You doing well?
Troops would be in the forest or whatever, and rather than try to push out to the edge of a tree line or fall back and cause a delay in the movement of ground forces, we would sling load it into there. It's going to be a little bit more of a tighter fit, but it's also going to give us the greatest amount of accuracy as to where we want that resupply to go. So yeah, hazards. That's going to be anything that might interfere with the resupply mission, or CAS as it pertains to that, as that comes up. So trees, terrain features, buildings, any kind of other infrastructure that poses a threat to the airframe. Line 4, sit rep, friendly enemy locations. So that's going to be friendlies. That's going to be about a direction or a range estimation of the LZ or the target in question. So typically, friendlies X amount of meters to whatever direction of the LZ, or a specific waypoint if it's marked accordingly. Same with enemy location, if that applies to the situation. So troops in contact or whatever, that would be something that Dagger would relay to us. There are enemies 600 or 800 meters to the north that friendly elements are engaged with. So that would that ultimately applies into line 5, which is our remarks for anything else, and then our ingress and egress. That's going to apply specifically on our how we fly that resupply. If we have troops in contact, or if we're doing a mid-mission or a mid-operation, mid-maneuver resupply, then that's going to be a huge consideration. So
New operation unknown
And
at
then
this
right below
time.
that, you
We're
would
going to
have an
keep
example of how a
doing
5-line propel line over
FTX
7-0.
until we are done
And
FTXing.
then just below there, we have a description regarding the airdropping and sling load as it applies to when it's used. Typically, we're going to be airdropping our supplies. It gets us there. It gets the supplies on the ground faster.
Next FTX is Sunday. I am doing an extra this week. I am doing Task Force Alpha's
it's not like we're just
FTX.
underslinging it and then dropping
So
it.
I have
roll,
JTAC qualifications tomorrow, and then
stops it, whether it's,
FTX on Sunday.
On that ends up getting hurt or killed because of that, or it's somebody's living room or house or something. So, with the sling load, it's going to be like we're going to come into a hover and then we're going to drop and set it down. Basically described as like putting a bowling pin, standing it straight up. And then for the aerial resupply, it's basically so we're going to keep, it's basically keeping level flight the entire time. We can't do like a break off maneuver. So say we were to have a like northwest to south, or northwest ingress to southwest egress, we wouldn't be able to do that because we can't airdrop the cargo while we're at an angle. It has to be a level flight path. So it's something that we typically have to fly like either north to south, or depending on the orientation of friendly forces and the enemy activity at the time. So, all right. So that's enough of hearing me ramble. Let's roll over here to the bird.
Okay. Hey, Hawkins, how's it going? Yeah, Miss Lane, real quick comment if I can before we...
That. Yes.
No, that's alright. So I just want to clarify something, and this is mostly for the benefit of the daggers present, but may as well cover it for everyone as well. When we talk about, on that 5-line brief, when we talk about hazards and the sitrep, we traditionally do a terrible job of merging that information together and keeping that information accurate. So I want to just expand on that a little bit, because hazards is in my eye, right, and pilots speak up if you disagree with me, but hazards are risks to the airframe from the terrain. Hazards are unavoidable. Hazards are a forest, power lines, buildings, whatever you want to call it. There's nothing we can do about a hazard. It's just something to factor in. Sitrep is things that we have control over, and sitrep can be delivered as a single complete picture. So keeping in mind that these guys flying the Black Hawk don't have the eyes they're used to from the gun cam in the Apache. So if you are 300 meters northwest of the drop zone and you're engaging enemies another 300 meters past that, that's one line of information. But similarly, anything which poses a risk to the airframe from OPFOR needs to be addressed as a sitrep concern, whether or not there's anything we can do about it. So if Thunder earlier had eyes on a Shilka active in the AO, that's a concern to a Black Hawk. And if we don't know where that Shilka has gone, that's a bigger concern to the Black Hawk. And it's something that they need to be aware of, so that even just the raw process of stating on 7-0, there's a Shilka in the area, Mr. Blackhawk, but I don't know where it is, that is also probably a cue to everybody else, hey, let's find the Shilka. So I want us to collectively try and do a better job at relaying that situational awareness to these guys who are coming in usually quite low and usually quite quick, so that they don't have any surprises pop up on their way in. So, like I said, I just think it's something that traditionally we do a bad job of, is keeping those pieces of information separate and knowing what to do about them. The follow-on from that is to the sitrep also should include any information which is relevant for deconfliction. We don't do a lot of deconfliction in the 506, and it potentially could be an issue. If Thunder is ingressing a gun run, somewhat close-ish to the drop zone for a resupply, that is perfect deconfliction. If Havoc 4 is behind the lines of the drop zone and is actively sending a fire mission, that is perfect time to talk about deconfliction. So anything that is relevant is stuff that you want to be saying. Even if just so you're thinking about it. Even if you've already thought about it and deconflicted it, say it again. Air the information, give everyone a chance to think about it. The last thing we want to have is a Black Hawk flying resupply, fly over Havoc 4, get a 60mm shell in its ass, and then we lose the lot. So say it, even if just to think about it. Keep hazards and sitrep separate, and voice threats even if they're not 100% nailed in, was the stuff that I wanted to raise. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, TSgt. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when we're, like you brought up, hazards in the AO. Definitely threats to aviation assets as they're coming into the AO and as they operate within the AO are pretty critical. So real quick, we'll go for loading the supply crate for those that actually pertains to. So it's just going to be an ACE interact on the supply crate, and it's actually got to be closer than what it is.
I gotcha.
Gentlemen might want to step away from the box before it miraculously becomes inside your spleen.
Yeah, so these resupply crates have to be pretty much at, what is it, like 3 or 5 meters? 3 meters? I wouldn't go any further than 3 meters. Proximity way, exactly. From where you're loading it into. So typically when you land at the resupply area or whatever, try to get the bird as close to the intended load that you want to load. Get as close to it as you can. But you'll pull up ACE Interact and you'll see the option for load. You'll hover over load and it'll give you the option for the aircraft that you want.
Sergeant Hardman, is there any way to push those things around maybe to make
And
them
then you're going to get a timer for it for
They're too heavy.
Loading it.
Yeah, copy that.
Whatever you're trying to load it into, and that's going to be about 8 to 10 seconds. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like you could maybe shoulder one a meter.
So, but this
8 meter at a time.
This one's actually already loaded. Chief Blair, this Bird 2 is already loaded, I believe. Right?
That's got nearly 800 kilos.
Yep. Wow. Gotta work on that leg day there, LT.
Oh, is that how you're doing it?
It's over by the other bird now.
No, sir, we're still here.
Each bird has its own box.
Yeah, so this one's still bugged out from earlier, so. All right, and then regarding the actual airdropping of cargo, we need to be at least 35 meters in the air. And like I said earlier, on level flight path. That means we can't be breaking off and evading. We can't be making fine adjustments. If you are making fine adjustments, the slower your speed is, the more sensitive the load deployment is to. The more sensitive the load deployment is to actually not functioning correctly. Hey, Chief Blair, you're hot mic. There you go. You're good. So if we're going 150 or 130 knots or kph over the drop zone, we're not going to have much issue for level flight and making fine adjustments. You're going to have, a degree or two each of roll before the load is not going to want to deploy. But if you're mid-bank in a turn or whatever, it's not going to happen.
No, we don't.
So just keep that in mind. And like I said, slower speeds is going to make that even more more
intense.
It's not going to want to
Freaking
cooperate.
lag,
So we'll go ahead and load this. And like I said, it's going to be about, actually, I think it's closer to like 10 to 15 seconds for the actual load. And then depending on so while we're in the air, depending on the crates that are actually loaded, it's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of, 2 to like 15 seconds. I think most of them are 2 to 3 seconds, or 3 to 5 seconds for the actual drop time of them. And from what I've seen, it's not the location that they actually drop and fall on is more close to when you actually hit the unload than it is to the end of the progress bar. Because there's been times in the past where, like, I've been doing, 200 kilometers over a drop zone, or 200 kph over a drop zone, unloaded it with a 5-second timer, and still hit my intended mark without even knowing what the dwell time on it is. So sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not the case. So that's kind of a level of inaccuracy that we currently have to deal with. So that's just in my experience. I don't know if Chief Blair, if you've had different results, or Chief Alp, if you've had different results in the past, so, or anyone else.
Yes, A-Firm. What I typically do is if you...
Hey, Chief, we can barely hear you. There we go.
All right, is that better?
Yep.
There we go, Jeff.
All right, perfect. All right, so if you see these two little sensors here protruding out from the front, use that as a guide mark for when you need to drop your box. So if you are using the waypoint system that's only available in this server for now, you can use this as the waypoint comes underneath the instrument panel of your bird. That's a good cue for you to go ahead and hit that drop button once you're in the menus. And then from there, you can kind of fine-tune it so that your drops are more accurate. So typically, what I use for the speeds and altitude is 150 kmh with 50 meters altitude, and that's above ground level. So coming in on a drop zone, right, and the ground is 200 meters above ASL, what do you think I should be flying? So it's 250, right? 50 plus 200 is pretty simple math. So if you notice, if you pull up your C tab and you go into the map, you're going to actually notice that it'll give you an ground altitude, a altitude above sea level.
Guess who doesn't
so
have a C-tab? This guy.
It's about 15, 16 meters above sea level. So you add that onto your 50 to get your correct altitude that you need to fly in when you're setting up for the drop. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Hey, Firm Chief.
Yes, Chief.
All right. So 50, you can actually be lower than 50, but that's a good point to start at. All right, go ahead, Lane.
Thank you, Chief. So that about covers the actual airdrop aspect of it. When you are in the air, just keep in mind it is the Ace Interact as well to drop it. For those of you who haven't used it before, it's also going to be when you use the Ace Interact menu, it's going to pull that up, or it's going to pull up the menu while you're flying, and then from there it's going to have a list, or bring up a list of the cargo that you have on board. And then from there, you're going to manually select the cargo that you want to drop. It should only be one, because you can only load one in the Blackhawk. And then from there, you're going to select the actual cargo that you want to drop, and then you're going to hit unload. I believe it's the right icon that it says, unload or drop. Something along those lines. And then it'll actually begin the ACE interaction bar. And once that completes, the load will drop. So, and then running back into the other one regarding our airdrops, the under sling loading. Like I said, it's not something we typically use, just because the accuracy can be achieved while airdropping, while also minimizing the risk to the airframe itself. So, but sling loading, so that's going to be set up for Mr. Edwards and Chief Alp. Do you guys have the keybind set up for your sling load assistant, and then the sling load release?
Affirm.
Excellent, cool. But yeah, so you're going to bring up the assistant, and you guys are both familiar with this system, right?
I am, yes.
Okay, cool. So you're just hovering right over top of it. You basically have to be, I believe it's in 5 meters proximity or 3 meters proximity. It's also pretty close. But it does seem to have a pretty good amount of leeway as far as if you are close enough to a building, it will still latch on to things. So if you're worried about you're worried about getting in close to a crate that might have been picked up, whether it's near a ground obstacle or a ground terrain hazard, you can still get in pretty close. It's something that's definitely worth experimenting with while you're in training and on the ground or whatever, just to really see, like, you know, how close can I get to something, and or how high up can I get to a crate on the ground, and really kind of see, like, what can I do with this. So, but yep, so you pick that up or whatever. The big thing to
Alright, cool. That's better. Alright, there we go. We have a tablet now.
Assuming it's somewhere around 50 meters, based on my flying, but I'm not exactly 100% positive.
So, yeah, Lieutenant Ringrose answered up with 35 meters.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think it's actually closer to 10 meters.
The automated system, I felt like was a little bit shorter. I think if you manually do it and you have somebody on the ground latch it up for you or whatever, you can squeeze a lot of distance out of it. So, but that's also something that we don't typically do, just because we don't have, like, you know, a ground guide for sling loading in the few times that we actually do sling load cargo for preparation for airdrop. So, but
Copy that.
Yeah, the one that you guys should be using is the SLA, and that one's 10 meters.
Copy that, Chief.
yeah. And also keep in mind too is when you do have the load, while
I
you're
want to blow
loading
things up.
underneath
I'm
the
done
vehicle,
talking about supply
the
crates.
longer it is, think of it as like an extension of, you know, the airframe. While it's the farther down it is, the more accommodation you're going to have to make, or the more cognizant you're going to have to be of your altitude as it applies to your terrain surroundings, and then also as well as stabling out and coming
And deploy cargo rates from outside the bed.
because it's a lot easier to do it when you're in close at 10 meters. There's less overall shift in the load itself.
Fun facts.
Because you're not sitting there trying to teeter-totter and kind of cancel out the momentum not only of the airframe itself, but also of the load. So, but yeah, just a couple of considerations.
The load doesn't
It is,
really have
it's
momentum, which is the
extremely
problem.
easy to get in here and do some
Classic-
simple practice with picking up
classic
and
Arma.
dropping loads or whatever. Your first couple might be a little
We're
rough.
picking up
if
from
you haven't done it
here.
before, but beyond that, it's pretty straightforward. It's one of the few things that it's very easy to practice on your own for working towards that kind of task mastery that you're looking for. So, but that's about all I can over-explain on this subject there, Chief. So,
No, it's good. Go ahead and get them in the bird and get some practice in.
cool. All right. 4 pilots, 4 birds. Rest of you gentlemen, if you guys have something else you guys need to do, or if you want to tag along, yeah, you're welcome to select whoever you want to hang out with. So,
Miss Lane, how long are you looking at running supply drop practice for?
we'll probably do 2, if everything goes to plan. Best case scenario, maybe 30 minutes. Should be 2 airdrops, and then the actual supply drops is just picking up the intended crate with the sling load, doing a lap with it, and then setting it down as close to your actual helipad as possible without overturning it, and doing 2 laps with that. Pretty much the same deal. So
Okay,
2 laps
copy.
of each. So,
Good copy. All right, well then, Exo, that's up to you. If you want us to, if you want to sit here and do some resupply stuff, then happy to sit here with you. Or if you want to go do something else for 30 minutes, we can do that.
Yeah, let's go do something else. I trust these guys to be doing that part.
Okay, copy. Let's quickly TP back to Gravia so we're out of the way, and then we'll decide what we want to do from there. LT, have you already got a Thunder set up?
I don't, not yet.
Okay. Do you want
But
to... Go ahead.
I've got loadout set up for it.
You can, try and get them within the circle, I guess.
cool.
Sorry, I was just waiting for Ares to initialize. Okay, cool. So we'll go run some CAS. Exo, your preference. Do you want to run in a town or in a field?
Let's start out in the field, then let's do one inside of a town.
Okay, actually, I know what I'll do. I have my JTAC qualification stuff saved. I'll just load that real quick. And then that'll give us a town garrisoned as well as the stuff out of TACP Hill.
Sounds like a plan.
Roger, I'll get ready for TACP.
And hopefully it doesn't blow up everything at the abyss.
You got a
I might just
good
stand over
distance
here,
between the
just
two,
in
don't you?
case then.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was smart about how I copied this. Oh, frames? What frames?
Yeah, I'm having the same problem there. I'm not sure what just happened.
I just jumped into Ares that shouldn't have done it, but...
It's calmed down now.
Alright, so Sergeant Hardman, while you're getting that set up, I'm just going to be observing these guys through Ares, the choppers, so...
No
Let me know when
problem.
you're ready.
We'll do XA. 90, 35, 50, 95, no, okay. Don't like elementary level. Not overly. Right. Okay, teleporter here. We're gonna call this Bravia, then this fucking waypoint. No. Wait. That should have a tower at it, which does. Oh, there was already a flag there. Mother. That's a shame. Alright, well. And radius. Oh shit, that's not the right one. There we go. Right. That should be all fine. Excellent. I just now need a replacement tank to go in here. Let's take a Yep. Here we go. Take its fuel out. Take its fuel out. Take its fuel out.
I suppose I should be ready to take a check-in and all that stuff, shouldn't I?
Yeah, it's probably going to happen.
Right.
Alright, I think I'm pretty much good to go.
Are we gonna be doing this like close quarters live fire, or are we gonna
There'll be definitely some of that.
All right. Just want to make sure I was gonna be properly loaded here, and I'm pretty sure I am. So.
Yeah, copy.
By properly loaded, I do not mean whiskey, but that does sound pretty good. give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Where'd the XO disappear to? Okay, more shit going on here. Sure thing.
And I'm back.
Alright, welcome back. Let me just get the...
Dagger, this is Phoenix 33 on 70, inbound for the drop for the easternmost points, 30 seconds.
You really calling that for Dagger?
That's fine, he'll just be talking to someone on the ground, they'll be using a short range.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ignore that for the moment.
Yeah, that's fine. Thunder, Dagger 7-5.
Dagger, Thunder send.
You go ahead and proceed to a pattern on TACP Hill at your convenience. We'll meet you out there. Be advised, AO is hot, AAA is present.
OFM, AO is hot, AAA present. We'll proceed out from Gravia.
Roger.
Airbase Gravia, Thunder 6-2, you're going to be rolling from
Cargo's
Mike 1,
off, RTB.
Mike 3, aircraft parking for 2-2 right.
Clear to taxi.
Alright, I'm gonna TP out to TACP Hill. I've messaged the XO.
Are you taking me too, or what?
The flag is set up.
Oh, well, look at you. Okay.
Alright, let's... Fuck's sake. There we go. Oh, now that door opens. Piece of shit.
Okay.
Airbase Gravia, Thunder 6-2, rolling 2-2 right.
We doing this with tablets or not?
I don't think we need to, honestly.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we're doing this kind of like emergency cast style, and
Yeah, I think that's the best stuff for us to work on. I think
okay.
the excessively formal cast doesn't happen terribly often, and if it does, we have the time to fuck it up twice before it becomes an emergency. So,
Yep. Okay.
I mean, we can run a 9-line each if you want to do one just for fun.
All right. Okay. And Tunguska and Ashilka. So probably be good ones for. Oh, Tunguska's active.
Is it
Thunder
tracking?
Dagger 7-0.
Yeah, it sure is.
Alright, great.
Dagger, Thunder 7-0, go ahead.
Be advised,
Have eyes on Tunguska.
about 1,000 meters to our northeast. It is tracking at this time.
Oh shit.
You're engaged. You're engaged. You're engaged.
That was.
Dagger Thunder copied. Be advised, no spikes, but it is confirmed it is tracking.
That was definitely a fire.
Yeah, it was. I've just re-smacked down a global skill module to hopefully wrangle them in a little bit.
Alright.
Alright, so let's use this as a training opportunity.
Yep, emergency cast.
Emergency cast, have that thing laze so that he can engage it without being engaged by it.
Yep, roger.
Thunder, Dagger 7-0. Emergency cast, advise ready, copy.
Dagger, send, be advised, I've got eyes on that Tunguska and your lays over.
Copy, go ahead and kill it. Ordnance at your discretion.
Dagger Thunder will be in with 1 by Maverick.
Solid copy.
So one thing
you're cleared hot.
Actually, on that would not technically be
Roger,
that's not something you would call as emergency cast. Emergency cast, basically when we say that, that means it's engaging friendlies. Now he can sit there and bug out like he did and should, and therefore it's not engaging friendlies. If it was engaging ground assets, then that's the type of thing where we'd say, okay, give me emergency cast, which means I'm dumping all the other 5-line, 9-line, all that jazz.
Copy.
But for this, you would just say...
Dagger Thunder, be advised, Tunguska's not hot, will be coming back in with a GBU-54.
Copy, GBU-54. Target still lazed and tracking you.
How can it not be hot?
Yeah, Roger, be advised, at this time I am currently out of its range, but within its tracking range. So
it's not hot because it's not actively rolling. The way thermals work in Arma, just to kill everyone's immersion for a second, is that even if the engine's on, if the Vic hasn't seen substantial movement, it'll typically not show up as hot enough for a thermal lock. Or for an IR lock, I should say.
Oh, okay, because it's definitely hot on my thermals right now, but so that's different than the one he's using?
Yeah, so the Mavericks are a bit touchy about what it'll consider a strong enough IR signal to lock on with, so I'm not sure entirely the mechanics behind it, but I know that a IR lock is almost impossible to get a lot of the time. Like unless it's a T-72 that spent the last hour rolling around in the midday sun, it's unlikely to throw a super hot signal to get an immediate IR lock. It's like in this situation, he's more likely to get success out of a Maverick Lima or a Maverick Hotel than a Delta or a Golf. But the Deltas,
Limas are laser guided, right?
Yeah. But he may not have Limas. We don't have a check-in yet, so we don't know what his Mavericks are.
Yeah, copy.
And this is one of those reasons why I always, like, as much as emergency cast comes up, check-in is always a priority for me, so that I actually know
catastrophic
what I'm working with ordnance-wise. Because knowing what ordnance you've got is really important.
Yeah, I would say so.
Roger, Thunder. Thunder, be advised, we also have eyes on 1x Shilka down here. We're probably going to run it as the follow-up, but just stand by for a minute.
Thunder copies.
Let me get his check-in now.
Yeah, let's get his check-in. Unless is he still being tracked by that Shilka?
I don't think so. I don't think that. Oh yeah, technically it's it's definitely got its turret up. It looked like it tracked him at least at one point. I don't think it's actively tracking him.
Alright, then yeah, let's yeah, it's not moving, it's just looking where he was. Let's get his check-in.
Yeah.
Thunder, Dagger 7-0. If you got a check-in ready, we're ready to take it for you.
Dagger, Thunder copies. Check-in is as follows. Flight of 1x A10C Thunderbolt 2. Currently 4 kilometers to your south at
Roger,
break.
Chance.
Angel 7 and climbing. Ordnance are as follows. Full load on the guns, 6 by AGM 65 hotels, 3 by GBU 54 laser JDAMs, 1-9 by Liger Heats, 2x AIM-9 X-ray sidewinders. I am DCS laser and FAC capable. Fuel tanks at 94% and bleeding for a playtime of 0+90. Bulk code will be Boomerang.
Copy. 1 time 18 Charlie, 4 kilometers south at 7 and climbing full on the gun, 6 hotels, 3 GBU, JDAMs, 9 Lager heats, 2
Yeah,
Sidewinders, DCS laser
that
fat
is
capable,
correct.
94% at 0 plus 90. Port code boomerang.
I missed the read back on the ordnance, that's a shame.
Dagger Thunder, good readback on copy. Good copy on readback.
Thunder, copy, stand by for work.
Alright.
Well, let's go down the line. Chance, do you want to run Cass on that Shilka? Let's do that. Let's make that.
Standing by.
Let's make that quick, and then we can run some formal stuff. Then we'll do some more informal stuff.
Hey, firm.
We're about to have 6-1 up in the pattern too. Just be aware.
Ooh, that's it's engaged now.
Yep.
Thunder, be advised, Tunguska is engaging.
I think that's
Hey, fam.
Was it Shoka?
Yeah, it's Shilka.
Apologies. You're talking that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bit. So yeah, Chance, let's
Goddamn 2s and 3s tonight.
run that Shilka as a priority, and then we can start cleaning up everything else.
Got it.
Thunder, you ready to copy?
Dagger Thunder, ready to copy.
Gonna be a Type 1 control, 133 NA, 12 meters, 1 times Shoka, disregard Tunguska.
No, it's still Shilka.
Grid. No, still Shoka. Grid 100118, marked on CTAB 0821,
Do I
7
have...
through 9 NA, requesting 1 times Maverick. Woolays.
Nope, I sure don't. What is up with my... there we go. Alright, fine.
Dagger Thunder, I read back. Type 1 control 133 NA, 12 meters, 1 by Shilka, grid 110118.
Oh look, it made
Marked
precisely no difference.
0821 CTAB, 7 through 9 NA, requesting 1 by Maverick.
So copy on readback. This is gonna be ECAS. All 30 seconds. Woolays.
Ooh,
Dagger
hey.
Thunder's going to be in from the southeast.
Got
30 seconds.
eyes on a unmounted.
Blaze is up.
Oh, what the fuck you call them? Igloo chair.
Unmounted or mounted?
Unmounted. Not a threat right now.
Good eyes.
You see that, Hartman? Top of the building, concrete.
Hey,
Yep,
fam.
that's the one.
Thunder, D Telly.
I think
White one.
let's... so Stevens, once we've dealt with this Shilka, what I'm thinking is we'll bring him in
Dagger Thunder Tally.
with a
Clear it
GBU
up.
on that building
Dagger
complex.
Thunder Rifle.
Yep. The entire complex.
Yeah, may as well.
Okay.
1 away, 20 seconds.
At least we'll try and hit
Hey,
that
Firm, Pickle.
igloo chair on the roof. It's not pickle if it's
That's
guided.
flash.
Blaze off. Stand by
Really?
for PDA. PDA's 100 over 100. Gas complete.
Pickle is unguided. Rifle is guided.
Cas complete, out to the south.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, well, he called Maverick. Yeah.
Yeah, he requested Maverick on it.
Dropping GBU. Okay. But a GBU, even if it's laser guided, would that be pickle at that point, right?
Well, it's a matter of debate. I think technically the pro word for it is still rifle because it's guided. But we tend to use pickle for all bombs regardless of
Yeah. that's
guidance,
what I thought.
because we don't really dump drop too often unless it's 6-3 and his Mark 82s.
All right, you ready? You want that building dead? That complex dead?
Yeah, if you want to call it.
Yep.
Okay, no worries.
Oh,
I will
or did you
find-
wanna call it?
No,
Sorry.
you can have it. I'll find myself something else to blow up.
Okay.
Thunder, Dagger 70.
Dagger Thunder send.
9-line Type 1 control for you when you're ready.
Dagger Thunder, send online.
133 NA. Elevation 900, or correction, 13 meters. Building complex at grid 101116.
LT, you sticking with us down here?
Type mark
Yeah,
is
there's
0827 on CTAB.
Okay, copy.
Friendlies 900 to the west. Egress, your discretion. Advisor ready for remarks.
Dagger Thunder, I read back. Type 1 Control 133 NA, 13 meters, building complex 101-116-0827. Friendlies 900 to the west. Egress my discretion. Send remarks when able.
On building northernmost of that complex is unmounted Igla chair, requesting one-time GBU on complex.
Dagger Thunder, I copy. Advise caution. Unmounted Igla chair, and requesting one by GBU.
Good, read back on all. Advise 30 seconds.
Dagger Thunder, 30 seconds.
Cleared hot.
What type control did you run that 9-line as, Stevens?
Type 1.
Alright, then you need him to call tally, not just 30 seconds before you give him his clearance to release. The purpose of escalating the type of control is so that you have more control. If you give him a Type 1 control fire mission, that is as much control as you could possibly ask
Dagger
for.
Thunder, were you lasing it? Apologies.
You talk to him, I'll finish up.
Thunder's
Isn't,
Dagger got the laser
all
on target for your
types-
time now.
Shouldn't they always have to tally?
Rog, be advised. I
I'm
have
getting
negative
there.
You
visual
need to
on
be able to
lasers at the
see
moment.
the target, right?
Well,
Justin lays for you. Tally now.
it's technically only an issue
Wait,
for
what?
Type 1.
Okay.
Type 3, there's no tally required. So what I was saying is that if you're going to call it as a Type 1, make sure that he sees it, and make sure that you visually acquire him to satisfy the requirements of the Type 1 control. Otherwise, there's no point running it as a Type 1.
When we're saying visually acquire him, as long as we see him in CTAB.
Yeah, I consider
Dagger
CTAB to be...
visual lays.
Copy, Tally, you are cleared hot.
I consider a CTAB verification enough because
Roger,
obviously
cleared hot, one away.
visibility in armor is restricted.
Copy, will advise on splash.
Compared to real world. But at least make sure that he sees the target, because you gave him
Dagger
weapons
Thunder's gonna
clearance
be out to south.
without confirming that
Copy out to the south.
he had solid eyes on your lays, which means that if someone else activated a laser, we could have a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, it's not...
Yeah.
We've got to remember that there's a lot of laser energy in the field, so...
So what about Type 2 control? What happens with that at that point?
Well, and Lieutenant Avery, obviously, you've done this longer than I have, so step in if you disagree with anything I'm saying. But Type 2, in my opinion, has always been basically there's one visual acquisition, not two. So that means you either want to be...
Dagger splash.
Copy, good splash, target destroyed, laser cold.
Means you either want to be
Cars out to the south.
visually acquiring Thunder and making sure that he's on the right attack vector, or you want to be making sure that he's got visual acquisition over your target. You can run that either way. So either like if the target's too far away, so there's no chance of you seeing it, but you want to make sure that he's like squared away on his attack run, you can run that as a 2, and then he can tally the target, you can tally him, and so long as both of you say that it's in the right place, then you're good to go.
Gotcha.
That's always been my impression of the reason you'd run a Type 2 is that the target's 3 clicks away, but it's also surrounded by civilian structures or something, so you want to make sure he's got solid lock-on before you give him weapons clearance.
Yeah, copy that.
I was just going to put in one little note. Quick, easy reminders. Type 1, you have visual on target, and the airframe, you also have visual on the airframe. Type 2, don't have visual on the target. And Type 3s, if I believe so, is neither you or the airframe has visual on target.
Type 3 is the JTAC does not see the target or the aircraft.
Correct. Yeah, that one I know. So, like, if we're setting them after something that's on the other side of a hill.
Yeah, like if you're in like a forest or something. Yeah.
And the airframe is outside of our control area. So, like, where were we at?
But but it may also not be that though. It may just be a situation where you're decisively engaged on the ground and you have to prioritize being alive over visually acquiring him and his target. Like, there have been times where I've called Type 3 CAS, even though I can see the target at the time, but I was, 900 meters behind the task force, and I just had to catch up. I had to prioritize that over running fine control for him. So I got a quick glance on the target, and I was like, that's it. He confirmed that he saw it, and then I left it at a Type 3 clearance, because by the time he was actually engaged on his attack run, I no longer had eyes on it, and I wasn't in a position to open up my tablet to check where he was at. So it's really a flexibility thing. Like I say, it's how much control you want. So typically the way we run it is the closer friendlies get, the more control you want to exert over the attack run.
Copy.
Which is it's a handy way to kind of think about it. I'm going to go for the static ZU up here.
Yep.
As he added that to the south. Thunder, Dagger, 7-0.
Dagger, Thunder, send.
You ready for more 9-line practice?
Sure, hit me.
Good copy, going to be running this Type 1 control. Sierra, 360, 8 kilometers, approximately 20 meters, 1 times static ZU, marked by Blue Force 0829, grid 098122. We are 1 kilometer to the southwest. Egress is your discretion. Read back and stand by for remarks.
Dagger, Thunder, I read back. Type 1 control, Sierra 360, 8 kilometers, 20 meters approximately. 1 by static ZU cannon. God damn it. 0829er.
What a smartass.
122, 1 kilometer to the southwest.
Readback is good. Requesting 1 time. Actually, no. Requesting you run the guns on target. Call on tally.
Dagger, Thunder, can I confirm, is that a mounted ZU gun?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you want me to run the guns on it?
That's correct. Be advised, he's not tracking, he's not radar capable, you should be fine. I trust your accuracy.
Okay.
LT is... sorry, Lieutenant Avery, given there's 2 LTs here now. Lieutenant Avery, that's perfectly doable with the guns, right? I'm not overstating the capability of the weapon system in that regard.
Depends how he's shooting. If he's shooting to the TGP, the effective range, meaning as in we have a reticle, is 5 kilometers. If he uses his HUD, he can lob those rounds in from pretty far away.
Okay, cool bananas.
But 5 kilometers? I mean,
yeah, roughly. I'm estimating.
Yeah, you wouldn't really want to run the gun from that far out, though, would you?
In a real life scenario, no.
Oh yeah, that's true.
In Arma3 capabilities, you can.
Yeah, that's fair.
I try to stick with the TGP because it's within 5 kilometers, and it's much more realistic than using the HUD and taking a shot from 6, 7, 8K out. So.
Right, he was south of freaking Sierra. Okay, it's gonna take a hot minute for him to pull in the 8 kilometers he's got to pull in.
I think he was also setting up the markers, unless it was one of you guys. That was Chance. Good job, Chance.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Alright, so with some formal stuff under our belt, we'll do. There's a couple of infantry formations out here. Given the lead time that we've got running Thunder on infantry targets anyway, let's run the next target each.
Dagger Thunder, 30 seconds.
Without a formal
target.
CAS briefing.
Well,
Okay.
Solo copy Thunder. Show you tally target. You are cleared hot. Say again,
does
Exo.
he have Ligers?
Yep.
He has heat Ligers.
Roger, cleared hot.
So nothing laser.
Ligers are laser capable.
Okay. All right. So that's
ALT, can you go on yelling?
my apologies. All right. All right. So Sergeant Stevens, when he gets done with this run, I'm gonna have a ECAS mission for you.
Dagger Thunder, guns.
Roger, guns.
Good hit. See how dead it is.
Dagger
dead.
Thunder out to the
Oh,
south.
there it is. It's dead. Yeah, it took him a second, but it's dead.
Oh,
Solo copy Thunder. Stand by BD8.
Does sound a lot better now.
100.
Thunder, be advised, BD8 is as follows: 1 times destroyed ZU, complete CAS. Hey Ford, what's going on?
Completing CAS out to the south.
All right, Sergeant Stevens.
Yes, sir.
See at intersection just this side of where that last run was, that Fire Team
sir.
Infantry. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
I will laze it. I want ECAS on that with a laser guided on it as quickly as possible.
Copy.
Let me know when to laze.
Hey, Hardman.
Yep.
At some point, can you have him hit
Thunder Dagger 7-0, requesting emergency cast. Advisor and ready to copy.
Let me just lower my headset real quick.
Dagger Thunder,
Yeah,
send.
do the same.
Okay, go ahead.
Thunder, I need an emergency cast. 1 times Liger.
When you later on, can you
Target's
have
going to be
him
lazed.
pick groups of
execution
infantry with
Leader
Ligers,
left, you cannon.
self-laze it?
Advisor and tally.
Okay.
Like 2 or 3 groups,
Go ahead and
right?
laze
Just
it,
one run.
Laze is hot.
Okay, copy.
Thank you.
No problem.
Dagger Thunder Tally, can we test lock on after launch for these Ligers?
Works for me.
Rog, Tally advise when cleared hot.
Cleared hot.
1 away.
Copy.
One's away.
30 seconds.
Copy.
30 seconds out. This is a lock on after launch, so we're going to see how accurate this gets.
Was he shooting?
Oh.
Not very.
Is that a Liger?
Yeah, that was a Liger hate. Liger hate, LT. Sorry, I wasn't on
Alright,
yelling.
Let's try that again.
Dagger Thunder, I saw a splash out there, but I don't think it was on your target.
Thunder Dagger, that's affirmative. Miss on that. Go ahead and re-engage. Lace is still hot.
Rog, in from the south, close.
Oh, they're all fucking dead from the
It's
Tungus
coming in from the
Gripper.
south close.
Alright.
I think
If that
the
is the
lock on.
case,
One away.
I think it hit the old. I think it hit his TGP target is what it was. That was on the same spot as the old ZU cannon.
Splash. Target
Dead on.
destroyed. Cast complete.
Laze off.
Rog, Thunder out to the south.
Alright, next target, I'm gonna run on direction from 6
Dagger,
on.
if possible, do you reckon you can just get a laze down there somewhere? Or I want to try this lock on after launch to see if I can get it to work.
Affirmative Daggers. Or correction, affirmative Thunder. Standby.
You want to lay something there?
Even if it's just in the middle of a field, that's fine.
Go ahead.
I'm going to hit this concrete building.
Stevens, I heard you key up, but I didn't hear any sound come out.
Thunder, Dagger, target is Lays. Advise you approach from the south.
Yeah, I gotta.
Roger,
change
in from
my,
the south.
I gotta change my equipment here. My one of my triggers for my radio seems to be crappy.
Copy.
Dagger, Thunder, Rifle 1.
Copy.
I'm pretty sure to not lock on after launch.
Splash. Good hit.
That was pretty much dead on.
Roger, thanks, Dagger. Just wanted to test that.
Here's a 6170. Was that did you lock onto that or?
Negative.
Okay, so they are working. Interesting.
Okay.
It was locked on, I released. Dagger, disregard wrong net.
Oh, wait, what was he talking on?
No.
Wait. Shit.
He's talking to you on 7-1. Thunder, be advised, you'll find a carry-on 7-0.
Roger, we're on 7-1, so we're just keeping it out of your ear.
That's fine. When you are done with that discussion, I have a target for you.
Send it.
Roger, at the request of 6-1, we're going to be using this on self-lazed Liger's break. Reference the Blue Force 0823 on the main ASR running northwest to southeast, just north of Bullseye. 1 times enemy squad moving through that area, you are clear Type 3 control with self-lazed Ligers on that squad.
I've just be advised I do have heat ligers, not HE ligers, but I'll give it a go.
Understood.
Yeah, it should be fine.
I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I just want to spray him out. I want to see how he does with self-lazing it.
Dagger,
Yep.
Thunder's going to be in from the south, 30 seconds.
Good copy, 30 seconds, you are clear to engage on that Type 3. Rotary is here. Rotary is...
How'd that first CCAS go for you?
Rotary is doing some sling load stuff up here. We're going to be doing some CAS stuff
Obviously, when it comes to
later.
ECAS, always the faster the better. But I didn't have any real gripes about that one, so.
They from sir.
I mean, I do have the JTAC graduation town set up.
Dagger,
If
Thunder, Rifle 1.
you guys really want to get in the shit some.
Well, I guess, what's Rotary's time frame?
I'm not sure actually. I'll reach out to them now and see what they're up to, because I think they should be just about ready to do some CAS stuff together.
That's what I was guessing, so.
See how well he leads them too.
Rifle 2.
Oh yeah, that's gotta. He doesn't even need a rifle 2.
Disregard on Rifle 2. It's going to splash, but 1 took him down.
Okay, so heat ligers do a pretty damn good job still.
Good copy on that one, Thunder. Turns out infantry are now tanks. So far, looks like 1 times destroyed enemy squad. We're going to call that complete CAS for the minute. Stand by.
A firm, complete CAS out to the south.
Alright, Rotary is debriefing now, and then they'll be changing out for some CAS stuff. So...
Negative, I'm staying on the ground. Can you say again what your last transmission was? I was on 7-1 when you were talking. I missed the
No, go ahead, XO.
Say that said, let's get one more ECAS practice in then.
Yep.
For me, from my perspective, that's the one that's highest priority. So
what do you want that, sir?
So that said, so Hardman, you still in Zeus?
I have Zeus. There's still plenty of stuff out there. There's still the T-72, a BTR, a BRDM.
Alright, copy. Stand by. Alright.
Okay,
There's a T-72 out there.
Laze it and send it. That's it.
Not seeing the T-72. Where is it at?
It's hidden down in a ditch, bearing 072, range 1142. Just to the right of the tree, but before the long grass.
Deltas by any chance, or?
Keep pointing at it.
I have eyes on it.
Okay.
All right, good enough. Let's see. Sergeant Hardman, I don't think I've had you do one of these yet. I had Sergeant Chance do the last time. So Sergeant Hardman, ECAS, kill that tank. It's shooting at friendlies.
Good copy on all. Lieutenant Avery, you wrapped up on 7-1?
Yeah, you're good. Go.
Okay, good copy. Thunder, Dagger 7-0.
Dagger Thunder 7-0.
Thunder, be advised, I got my laser hot on a T-72 at this time. Do you tally?
White one blind on lace.
Good copy, standing by, laser still hot.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Dagger visual lace.
Good copy, Thunder, be advised you are clear Type 3 control, and that's T-72.
Rog, any requested ordnance?
Negative, your discretion.
And he's inbound.
I'll keep my lasers hot on it if you need, just in case.
That guy was hiding out there. I did not see him.
So does Type 3 mean...
Dagger Thunder, rifle.
Roger,
Type
rifle.
3 mean he is free to pick his own ordnance, or does he
No, so
give ordnance?
Type 3 basically means that we're not requiring the JTAC to put eyes on either him or the target. That's all it technically means. Thunder, be advised, BDA is as follows: 1 times destroy T-72, we're gonna laser cold, complete cast.
Dagger Thunder, BDA is going to be 100 over 100, visual cooking up.
Did I not transmit on 7-0 just now?
I heard the clicks, I didn't hear your voice.
Ah, copy. Well, I just said the same thing. Lasers cold, complete cast.
Rog, out to south.
Want that last tank dead?
I was going to just finish answering the EXO first. Yeah, so all the way saying... So the way I use Type 3 is to basically very quickly abbreviate the fact that I need this thing destroyed without a whole lot of restrictions about how it happens. So Type 3 is basically minimal amount of restrictions up to Type 1, which is like maximum restrictions. So,
right. Yeah, and I heard that whole conversation earlier while we were in here. I just didn't know if that included specifically in regards to if he needs to ask words. The reason I bring that up is so if, you know, do we need to have it where you guys specifically say the word ECAS, they hear that and they know, okay, unless he told me in his transmission, I just fucking do what I need to do to get it dead as quick as possible, or what's the most efficient way for us to do that?
I think my personal preference is basically the way I just called it, which is that if it's decisively engaging us and we need it destroyed quickly, then I am going to communicate the minimum possible information. We have a T-72, my laser's hot on it, it's engaging us, I need it destroyed.
Okay.
You know, like we're not in, to avoid having my full length 9-line rant right now, we're not in a situation where we're calling up an F-16 from an airbase 200 kilometers away. Like, we have these guys 6 clicks out, they've probably already seen it 300 different times, it's probably marked on Blue Force, they probably know about, they've probably seen it engaging us. So, in that sense, I feel that when it is a time-sensitive moment, I personally, and this is a matter of personal debate, but I personally don't see the point in telling them things they already know.
I thoroughly agree. The reason I'm bringing this up is how he specifically asked, do you have a preference of ordnance? Which again is just that much more time than it's taking. Again, not much time, but it's just that little bit more. So
yeah, so typically,
what I'm looking at as far as from you guys from a Dagger perspective, and also combined with the air assets, having that to where, you know, we kind of take that ambiguity out of it.
Yeah, so typically the way that would happen is that if I wanted something specific, I would state it in the Type 3 clearance. So, for example, I would say, you know, Thunder, you're clear Type 3 on that T-72 with a Maverick, or, you know, Warlord, you're clear on that infantry with the guns, or something like that, if I wanted to state an ordnance, and that's how I would give it. typically, even when they do call back for an ordnance check like that, and again, Lieutenant Avery, correct me if I'm wrong on this, they're already orienting towards the location, they're already swiveling the TGP, so it's not really costing us time per se. It is just the extra comms traffic. Stevens, RTB him for rearm. We're gonna
be advised, I've started
go join
marking
Rotary.
Singular targets within the town. Be advised, I do have visual on a 3 times mortars in a mortar pit plus a UAZ.
Thunder Dagger, good copy. Go ahead and RTB at this time for rearm refuel. We'll be back with you on 7-0 after you're done.
We'll join him back at
Thunder,
Gravia.
Going to be signing off 7-0, transitioning 7-1 and 7-5. Good day.
Thunder Dagger on 7-0, just be advised as well, we will actually meet you over at Gravia.
Roger that, you'll be at Gravia.
Chance, go ahead.
Alright, all I was going to say about ECAS for both you, Lieutenant, and everyone here is my personal opinion about it. I understand it. However, I think from this distance, yeah, you can do the laser thing. However, I do believe inside a town you should try to give a rough grid, especially if it's ECAS that's danger close. You need to tell where friendlies are in that statement, as well as that they will be popping green smoke. Just for safety reasons, and considering how close the ordnance is going to be. So I always think it's important to lay out some sort of a grid or area that this thing is going to be in.
So I got to be honest, something that kind of where I'm at falling in on this is that I really think it needs to get to where Lieutenant Avery, Captain Bowman, and Master Sergeant Mitsaki get together, and the three of you guys, the three of them get together, and because and I think it's great you guys are throwing out your spitballing ideas and you're giving opinions and thoughts and all that stuff. But we really need to get to a location
turning right base for long final runway.
Check
that.
Where we're kind of getting ourselves to where it's okay. We're, yeah, let's flesh this out. Let's have the conversations. But at that point, the three of them get together and say, okay, this is how we're standardizing it. And at that point, it's standard going forward. So, Lieutenant Avery, you're good.
I have a few comments now. Right now, since we're in the FTX of limited technology, giving us as much information as possible is going to help. As much as, I don't like it, I'm going to be honest. As much as Command doesn't like us using, or us being JTACs, using 9 lines, if you give the pilot like any information whatsoever, it helps, because there's been FTXs where I'm given a Type 3 control on a target time now, and I'm coming in and I need a PI. I'm having to PID a targets to make sure they're not friendlies, because I don't know how danger close it is or whatever. So just give us like a rough estimate of the closest Blue 4 person of that target, and we can take care of the rest. We can make a determination of what ordnance to use.
And I think
that's with the limited technology.
And I think by extension of that, part of that responsibility falls to Uniform, because while Thunder's up on net on 7-0 and they're saying things like, you're clear Type 3 on this or whatever, what I want to hear is Uniform key up on 3-1, relaying the fact that that's coming in and that we need to get green smoke out. Like, relying on Dagger to task switch and go from 7-0 to 3-1.1 to 3-1, because I think I'm saying this because it's particularly an issue in Task Force Charlie, but like when I get told to kill a thing now, I start talking on 7-0, and then Command asks me if I hear them on 3-1.1, and then I talk on 3-1, relaying the rest of the situation. So it slows it down. I think we can do a lot of work as a TACP on streamlining our ground comms to help combat some of that issue too, so that instead of me wrapping up the close air support briefing and then 3 minutes later green smoke coming out, green smoke starts coming out as soon as I key up on 7-0 to start giving the air support briefing, because Uniform's already relaying it on 3-1, so that when you guys orient the TGP in to tally target, you've already got that visual confirmation of friendly. So I think that there's a lot that we can work on the ground about streamlining that process as well, so that it takes some of that lag time out of it.
Sergeant, have you been watching Sergeant Mina and my helmet cams, sir?
I have seen a few, but I confess to watching less than I ideally would have.
So that's been something we've been doing fairly regular. It's just been kind of a good workflow. As soon as I realize that there's something's going to be coming in danger close, I'm calling bump 3-1 to get green smoke popped, and it's been working really well, I think. So yeah, I have to echo that. I think our uniform, especially right now, since we can't really effectively use a freaking UAV, helping with that deconfliction of radio traffic is more critical than ever. And then on top of that, there's a situational awareness of the ground units to what's going on in the air, and vice versa. I'll try to there's been not a lot of time to being able to do it, but I'm trying to keep better track of where we are on the ground and relaying that to air during breaks in traffic, so that Dagger doesn't have to do that. Dagger can concentrate on what's going on target wise.
And I think that one thing I was going to raise real quick, because this came up talking with Company HQ one time at a recent discussion. UAV operators are JTACs first and UAV operators second. So that's an old mindset problem. We've got to break out of that habit of thinking about it that way around. But the primary role of the UAV operator, as much as the title doesn't assist with this, the primary role of the UAV operator is to be a second JTAC. So that should be the focus of the operations of that UAV operator. And I think that the current 2IC phase that we're going through will be very assistive in impressing that point.
Alright. I was just going to bring up real fast. Like Lieutenant Tell said, I believe we do have to all get into like one room, all of aviation. It could just be leadership. We do need to all sit down and iron it out. Because at this point, I'm feeling that we all have separate and different tactics that we use for almost everything, and I think everything just becomes standard. That way there's less confliction with aviation and less confliction with the ground.
Yeah, well, it's a discussion that's been had basically to death at this point, I think, is that everyone's personal preference about the way they run CAS, and I don't know, I can only raise a topic so many times, so.
Okay, alright, well that said, Sir Hardman, you're 2AC for Dagger, correct?
AFA.
Okay, so let Master Sergeant Minataki know that I want him to get a consensus in regards from Dagger's perspective, how you guys, obviously it's his final says for Dagger, but I want him to come up with how he wants it done.
Antennas, yeah.
And then Lieutenant Avery, I want you to set up a meeting between yourself, Captain Bowman, and Master Sergeant Minataki, once you three have each worked with your individual sections, to come up with how you guys think it needs to be done, and then at least the three of you get together. If your two ICs want to come as well, then that's up to you. But it's kind of one of those things that if you get 15 people in a fucking room, then you're not going to get anything done. So get it to where the three of you at least, possibly your two ICs as well, are in a room once you guys have talked to individual sections, figure out how you guys think it need to be done, and then the three of you, you three standardize it. And then at that point, that's just how you guys run it, and get everybody on board with one standard SOP of how to do this. And then we can get away from all this individual stuff. Again, talk to your folks first, but once you have that talking down and you understand how it works, then let's just get this shit finalized and move on with life.
Sounds good. LT, I'll get it passed down through, passed up technically, I guess, on the Dagger side, and we'll get it squared away. Rotary is all ready for us back at Gravia when we are ready to do some CAS stuff with Rotary as well.
Thunder's back there as well, Sergeant.
Okay, Lieutenant Avery, did you hear that last part?
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Okay. All right. In that case, let's not hold this up any longer. Let's go join up with the Rotary.
Okay. The flag at the base of the tower will take us back to Gravia. Oh shit. Streamlined in the real world. They do actually. I was talking to someone somewhat recently, and they said that it was pretty accurate.
Alright, off comms for a moment.
Good copy, exit.
I still think you guys need white flags on the end of those antennas.
Yeah, fair enough. Lieutenant Avery, you going to stay on the ground for this part as well, or did you want to head up?
I'm gonna stay on the ground and let somebody get up there.
Okay. LT, are you fully resupplied on Thunder and ready to go?
Yep, and at Lieutenant Avery's request, I've got deltas this time instead of hotels.
Okay, copy that.
Other than that, my loadout's the same.
Copy. I don't know what our AO is going to look like, so we're going to take the TP flag out to lane 2. You'll be able to find us on Blue Force. We're down on the southeastern tip of Altus. I don't know what the targets they've got down or whatever, so probably gain some altitude before you get in there.
Yeah, Rog.
Where's Rotary?
They're
quick
out there
question,
already.
Okay, why deltas and not limas?
I requested deltas because we're doing some testing with.
Oh, copy that. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
For the munition, I have been experiencing like hitting a T-72 with
they have a system.
directly
Well,
and nothing happening to it.
Well, yeah, and the
I
thing
just
is
wanna
too is that
confirm
obviously
that
the amount of
deltas
training and
are
practice
going
a
up.
JTAC real life goes through
And
is
just so you know,
substantially above what we
like
go through,
traditionally
so
carry
it's a little bit more
AGM-65
drilled in.
limas, because we've got the GBUs, so I try to keep a mix of radar and laser lock on.
Copy that. Thank you, sir.
Okay, when everyone is ready, take this flag to lane 2, and Rotary should be already there.
Do you want me to come down or just get up?
Just go up, I would say, unless you specifically wanted to take part in the briefing.
I might take part in the briefing then,
Copy.
if they're doing a briefing.
The TADs, you can actually grab your TADs and you can move.
Oh
that
shit!
off to the left
Frames,
side.
Batman.
And then once you have your waypoint system, if you zoom in and you left click on that little marker, you can fine tune where that's at, right? And you should see that real time in your camera system. That makes sense?
Yep.
Hey, firm.
All right. So in addition to that, because your TADS is exactly like your tablet, you have the map tools at the bottom right that will give you distance and bearing to wherever your mouse cursor is in your TADS, right? So you take that information, you bounce it off of the stuff that you're seeing in your camera, all right? Because in the camera, once we get in there, you guys will also see that. So in the camera, it'll give you the grid that you're looking at if you're within a close enough range, and it'll also give you the range of where you are from the bird. So then you take that information, so you got
What the shit are
grid,
they?
or if it doesn't show a grid, you have a bearing from the helicopter, right? You remember the bearing, you remember the range, you bring and translate that into your CTAB, and that's where you guys can fine tune where those infantry or targets that you're seeing through your camera are on the map, right? So then once you figured it out on the map, this is when you can read that information to Dagger. Try to get those as accurate as you can, because the markers that you call in, Havoc 4 could come in it, Task Force Commander could be like, yeah, I'm going to send a squad over there to deal with it, or any number of things. So you want to try and get that as accurate as you can before Dagger gets it, because then they're going to rely on the information that you provided them to, put rounds on that target. Does it make sense?
Hey, firm. I do have a question, Chief.
Hey, From, go ahead.
If you could just refresh my memory as far as the tablet goes, top number, bottom right is the target grid. The second number down on mine, it says 33 meters from where your last point was. Is that the target's height above sea level?
The best thing is not to ask.
I'm hunting for a PV1.
Did you try Zeus?
Oh yeah, shit, that's a great idea. Alright.
Oh, you didn't think about that.
Shut the fuck up. Alright, no one said I was smart.
Take all that information, extrapolate where those targets are, and then once you get that waypoint marker, roughly, bounce back out of the TAS, verify that you see that waypoint marker in your camera screen. All right, last thing I forgot to mention on your 30 mil there is it has an engagement range of 2.5 clicks, so you do have to be up pretty close. You can go a little bit further, but then you start getting to some wind and really lose accuracy, and that's not something that we really want to do, and we're got friendlies all over the place. And then just like anything else, your camera system has night vision capability, as thermals in white hot and black hot variants. As you're going through, please make sure you're just cycling through.
Okay, I'm gonna share you a loadout real quick.
Alright, sure thing.
Okay, grab that from public loadouts. That's my JTAC loadout. That didn't give you a backpack for some reason.
You didn't have a backpack on.
I do.
Oh. I'm trying to see a backpack for you.
So in the arsenal, on the backpack list, do you see the 506 RT1523G ILBE?
No.
Okay, that means that... Are you running our version of Tifa?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure why those backpacks wouldn't show up for you.
Which one is it?
The second one from the top, 506 RT1523G ILBE.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Do you just have like the big and then the small and then the assault pack? Is that all that's showing up for you?
Yeah.
Alright, just grab a small one for now. Not the assault pack, you still want the radio, you just want the 1523G small. Okay, and then go to the uniform, and then change the uniform to the third one from the top, combat uniform OCP 101st Airborne.
Yeah.
And then go to vest and scroll all the way down to the bottom and select the SPCS squad leader OEFCP.
Team leader or squad leader?
Squad lead.
Done.
Okie dokie then. And then hit Alt P to open up your radio. So close out of the arsenal. And then set your long range radio to frequency 70. And then let me know when you're done.
I think
Let me know when you've got that set up.
Yeah, will do.
I'm just going to TP us out to where everybody else is.
So
I think he was helping Roberts potentially.
I'm back now. I'm over here. I'm just setting up a radio. Okay. You've got your long range set up?
Yeah, 7-0.
Alright, cool. You're gonna just be sticking with us on the ground. We'll watch some shit blow up.
You just want
Roger that.
Sergeant Hardman, I think we're ready to roll.
Copy.
Are we heading back over to Teresa?
I have no idea what these guys got planned.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you had the target area set up for them.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's go back.
Hey, Firm, go ahead.
As far as radio communications go, the pilot, when we're doing, say, spooling up, taxi and all that stuff, is the one who does the radio communication. And then as far as cast check-in and things like that, does it switch to the gunner then?
Firm. So as far as the aviating piece, the pilot is going to handle all those types of communication. Any communication between Dagger and the bird is going to be done to the gunner. And, the primary reason is the gunner is the one that's got to action all that information anyway. The pilot can see the information, but not near the same fidelity that the gunner can. And occasionally there's, air-to-air communications, and that really depends on what the topic is. If it's, you to thunder in reference to some enemy target or reference on the ground, then it's definitely going to be the gunner. And in some instances, there is crossover. For example, if Phoenix is coming in on a resupply or a reinforcement drop, then it just depends on the situation.
Okay, roger that.
And just a quick comment on that, Chief. The only two instances that I can think of in which you would not have, as the gunner, that you would not have direct feedback on the weapon systems that you can report in on for cash check-in and updating Dagger on the ground as far as how much ordnance we have, is our M1 or our M229 and M151, our Hydra rockets. Unless they are slave to the gunner, or you are in manual fire, you shouldn't be able to see that. And then also the sidewinders, any of the wingtip based munitions, basically anything slaved to the pilot, you will not be able to see as a gunner. So just make sure you're cognizant of that as a gunner when you do your cash check-in. Generally, your pilot's going to fill you in on ordnance that you may not be able to account for as the gunner. So,
Hey, Firm, good point.
Chief Blair.
Yes.
Do you have a target AO set up for some cast stuff, or were you looking to me for that?
If I could look to you, because I'll be in the bird flying for these gentlemen.
Copy. Well, then we will use the AO that I've already got set up out on the eastern side. It'll be a little bit of a flight for you guys, but it is already set up, so.
Hey, Firm, no worries. We can make it fast.
Copy. I'll throw a quick bullseye down if someone can get on 7-0 and tell Thunder that he was fully correct about what he thought we were doing. New bullseye is marked.
Thunder, Dagger 7-0.
Dagger, Thunder 7-0.
Thunder, Dagger, we are going to be operating out bullseye near town of Teresa, grid 106122. Go ahead and set up your orbit near that location at this time.
Dagger, Thunder, Dagger copies going to be south of bullseye.
Hardman.
Go ahead.
Thunder, this is Dagger.
Hey,
I
kind of want to, we're kind of just orienting them to the gunner position for today. So if we can just get them a good mix of all the weapon systems we got. So we got 4 kilos, 4 Limas, 4 Novembers, 16 daggers, and then obviously the gun.
A firm, I should be able to handle that for you, no problem at all, based on what's out there. Once you get up in the AO, if you have anything you want to change, let me know.
Hey, Firm, yeah, that should be good. I expect there might be a little bit of a hurdle in terms of the recon portion, just because they've never done it before.
Good copy on all.
You guys want to be doing the most of the recon, so we keep Thunder from marking everything up?
I mean, I don't want to detract from what he's doing. If you want to say, he does the north half of the town or some kind of delineation like that, that'll be fine.
Okay.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thunder, Dagger 7-0.
Dagger Thunder 7-0.
Go ahead and reference the MSR leading into the town from Teresa, running southeast to northwest. Follow that MSR along to divide the town in half, northern half and southern half. So it'll be northeastern and southwestern half. Go ahead and start your recon on the northeastern half. We're going to leave the southeastern half for Warlord.
Roberts, you're hearing Stevens up on 7-0, right?
Dagger Thunder copies.
Yeah.
Alright, great.
Thank you much, Thunder. We'll be out in the AO shortly.
Alright, the blue flag has a TP set up labeled CAS
Advise
AO.
if you need another CAS check-in when you get there.
Solid copy. We'll probably do another one.
This is live, so lock and load. Well, let's get out there first. Let's get away from the birds. Exo, did you have any preference of
Dagger 1-3
how you run
1-7-0.
this, or do you want to just kind of float around?
I will float around.
Stand by. Okay, copy. Then let's go with Avery and Stevens can battle buddy together, and then Chance and I will take Private Roberts. So Private Roberts, if you just want to ace interact with one of us and just join our group. Avery and Stevens, if you want to push blue, Chance, Roberts, and I will go red.
Sergeant Harmon, do you just want me to be with Lieutenant? We get 2-2 and 2.
I'm going to be acting independently, Sergeant Chance, so just go and run with one of those. I'll.
Alright, cool. Private Roberts, just go red in your ace menu, just so we can keep track of who's who.
Thunder's Dagger 7-0.
Dagger, this is Thunder on 7-0.
Alright, let's start moving.
Go with that. Check in when you're ready.
Dagger Thunder, flight of
Alright,
1
I'm gonna
times
move
18 Charlie,
off to
signing in
the-
frequency 70. Currently 4 kilometers
I got
to
stuck.
your south at Angel
Gonna move
7
northwest.
and climbing. Got full load on the guns. 4 by GBU 54 laser JDAMs by 6 AGM 65 Delta Mavericks. 1-9 Liger Heat rockets. 2 times AIM-9 X-ray sidewinders. I am DCS laser and FAC capable. Fuel tanks at 9 at 2% and bleeding for a playtime of 0+120. Abort code will be Boomerang.
Thunder Dagger, copy you 1 times 810 Charlie.
Look at us all.
4 kilometers to our south, Angel 7 and climbing. 6 times Deltas, 4 times GBU 54s. 19 Liger Heats, 2 times Sidewinders, DCS laser, FAT capable. 94% at playtime 0+120. Port code of Boomerang.
Dagger Thunder, be advised, good readback on
We have a
good
ground net
readback on
set up?
checking. Be advised, I'm
Say again?
currently scouting
We
and
have a ground
marking
net set
over.
up, just in case.
3-1.1.
Solid copy on all, and be advised, ground troops at this time, consisting of TACP element with command, moving in from the south of Teresa. We are roughly grid 102, 120, and moving to the northeast at this time.
Can't see shit from
Dagger
here.
copies will get visual.
Okay, given as
Dagger
I designed
Thunder
this
copies will
AO,
get visual.
gonna let Stevens and Chance make the fucking decisions, and Avery and I will just follow in playing dummy behind.
Alright. Let's get up to those buildings. Following this brush on our right side here. Eastern
copy.
side.
Falling in behind you. Actually, I'll let Hardman stay up with you, and Avery and I will pull up the rear here.
Sorry,
I'm getting there. Say again?
You get, what freak are you guys talking on?
3.1.1 on the ground.
Okay, just making sure. All right.
Actually, you guys hold up for a second. I'm just going to reclaim our lost private and join him up on 3.1.1. Thunder 1-2, this is Dagger 1-3 on 7-0. Interrogative, did you have traffic for specifically me?
Yeah, A-Firm, did you find that wayward?
Yeah, Ava.
Roger. That's all I was
got an
doing.
enemy in the window front.
Private Roberts?
Most, the house closest.
Go ahead and open up your short range and set your short range radio to 3.1.1. That's the net we're talking on the ground here.
Eyes on.
Just stick close to us, basically, and we'll be blowing a whole bunch of shit up here in a second.
Copy that.
Yeah, they've already got a full set of pilots for Rotary, or I would have given you
Yeah,
a
this is Warlord 2-1.
seat up there.
Ready for cast check-in?
Warlord 2-1, go ahead with cast checking.
Yeah.
Correct, 3.1.1.
Copy, this is Warlord 2-1, flight over 1 times, H64
Copy, on
Apache
me.
Guardian. We are currently 2.5 kilometers southeast of Bullseye. Break. We're at Angels 3. We are full on the guns. We have 4 Hellfire Kilos, 4 Hellfire Limas, and 4 Hellfire Novembers. Break. We have 16 daggers, 2 AIM-9 Sidewinders. We are laser DCS capable. Fuel is reading 95% and bleeding for a playtime of...
Norman, did you get that private back?
AFM, he should be up on net with us now too.
Alright, let's get moving up then. Stevens, you want to take point?
Step, I was wondering, should we stage Warlord at, behind one of those hills to have him do pop-up attacks, or how do we want to do this?
You could stage one of them behind TACP Hill.
Hey, I'm going to wait for him to finish his gas check-in.
Yeah, he's just working out how to translate fuel percentages into playtimes. We'll give him a bit of slack if he's only a walk. Yeah, Chance, let's you, me, and Robert start moving up along this long tree here.
Seems like one of them lost a pilot /
Dagger
gunner.
Warlord 7-0.
Go for Dagger.
Copy, Avery.
Copy, did you copy my cast check-in?
Negative, did not copy your time on station or your abort code.
Copy, time on station is 0+120 minutes.
We got
Abort
some
code is
mechanical
abort.
over
How
there
copy?
behind the house goes. I think it looks like a BMP.
Say again, 7-0.
Time on station
Copy, BMP.
is 0+12 minutes. Abort code is abort. How copy?
Affirm Warlord 2-1, I read you at 2.5 kilometers southeast of Bullseye at Angels 3. On the guns, 4 kilos, 4 Limas, 4
Stevens, as soon as he's done with the check-in, I want that BMP3 dead.
Your laser and
Copy, I'm not
capable,
seeing that BMP3.
95% and bleeding, time of station 0+120, abort code
Maybe
is
behind trees for you. Start pushing up to the next rock wall and see if you can see it from there.
Solid copy,
Copy,
on all.
every
Beginning ISR.
Good copy, begin ISR once complete. Go behind TACP Hill, which is going to be Hill 112, for some pop-up attacks.
We really should make the
Copy.
TACP Hill designation
Hill 112
part of
for
the
pop-up
frickin'
attacks.
flight school.
Alright, that's gonna be a BMP. I think it's a 2.
I think it's a 3. It looks like it's got a big gun on it.
That gun's looking at us.
Yeah, well, Stevens' element is closer to it. That's bad.
Stevens, you guys good?
Warlord
Yep,
33
all good,
sending in
standby.
on 70. Dagger, standby for check-in.
Stand by on that check.
I got it.
I need immediate cast.
Go ahead.
Dagger, Thunder, be advised, is that those mortars firing at you?
Negative,
Hey,
MBT
you
lays
wanna fix
time
the
now. I need
robots?
Type 3 control with a Maverick on it.
Tripping. Ooh, I'm not tripping.
We need to
Dagger,
move, Chance.
Thunder,
Let's
be
pull
in
back.
from the north.
We'll back it over.
Yeah, we'll pull back, we'll cross the road behind this little rock wall here. Sorry, XO, for leaving you behind.
Nope, do what you're doing.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying.
Dagger, Thunder, be advised, negative visual on your lows.
Smoke is good, let's cross.
Thunder, Dagger, 7-0.
Dagger, Thunder, send.
Do you have visual on yellow lays? Do you have visual on yellow smoke?
Affirm.
Alright, look about 150 meters northeast at the edge of town.
Dagger, visual. Dagger, Thunder, visual.
Hey, firm, we're gonna quest 1 times EGM Delta. Will be marked by lays. All 30.
My lays is hot.
Affirm, be advised, at the moment it's not hot, so I can't lock it with a Delta.
Copy, then send a Liger.
Rog, I'll send 2 Ligers, being that it's tank.
We got fucking foot mobiles on the edge of this town too, but I don't want to break cover until that BMP's hit.
That was a great time to practice my...
Stevens, Avery, how you doing? It's a pretty nice red.
Dagger, Thunder, 2-way.
Will that fuck up your lays?
We're not using the lays anyway.
Splash 2.
Maybe we were.
Thunder, be advised, Ligers were off. We're requesting a re-attack.
Thunder, be advised, that may have been my fault. I a little bit forgot we were using my lays.
Be advised, I self-lays that.
Okay, fine, then it's just broken to shit. Go ahead and re-attack.
Rog, can you give me an indication as to where they landed?
I'm gonna say they're probably about 150 odd meters short. They're on the southern outskirts of town.
Alright, we got people bleeding to death
Rog,
and dying
I'll
on
be
the ground.
coming
This is
back in from
taking
the
too
west.
long.
Yep.
I mean, if you hadn't called ECAS, then that or he hadn't called ECAS, that'd be a different story. But...
Do you know whether we have a mark on it?
Yep. Thunder, be advised, it was previously marked by red smoke. Red smoke is dissipating now. We'll pop a new one. But I can also put a lays back on it if you want to use my lays. We just need this BMP3 dead.
Rog, we'll use your lays.
Stevens, Avery, check in. Roger, lays up. Alright, I think we also need to mount a rescue mission for Stevens and Avery.
2-way.
Roger, 2-8. Chance, as soon as this splashes, we need to get back over to Stevens and Avery, because I'm not hearing them up on net.
Yeah, let's move.
Thunder, be advised, BD8 is as follows: 1 times destroyed BMP3, cast complete.
Roger, Thunder gonna be out to south.
Alright, I'm moving across the road again, through the hedgerows, going to Avery and Stevens' last position.
Yeah, I see. I would have put smoke out first, though, before crossing that LDA like that.
Yeah, it's a big A firm.
And we're still getting engaged by a something out here. Or is that just cook off? All station 70, break. Got something big still lighting us up down here. I need someone to find it.
Dagger, this is Warlord 3-3. I got eyes on a mortar pit. I got eyes on mortars landing around here.
Be advised, I don't believe it's mortars engaging. It sounds more like the main gun of MBT at this time.
Sorry,
Copy. Warlord has eyes. We can take it out.
You got a rock wall in front of you or a little bit of deploy behind you, right here in your open.
Oh yeah, you found. Alright.
I'm dragging.
Alright, I just went to pick him up. God damn it.
Dagger, this is Warlord. Do you want the T-72 down?
Warlord, go. That's an A-firm. You're clear type 3 control on that T-72 at this time. Break. Be advised, we have multiple elements down on the ground here.
Rifle.
Roger, rifle. Alright, I'm bugged out. I can't get these guys up. I'm gonna have to pop into Zeus and get them up.
T-72 is still standing. Rifle again.
So in this case,
Dagger, this is Warlord. T-72 down.
Good copy, T-72 down, break. Be advised, troops in contact.
Thunder.
Warlord 2-1, Dagger 7-0.
Stand up for Warlord.
Was chasing Warlord 2-1 specifically.
Warlord 2-1, go ahead.
Warlord interrogative, you said you had eyes on a mortar pit, correct?
A-firm.
Solid copy, Warlord. Go ahead and take care of that mortar pit, requesting self-laze ligers at this time. Alright, everyone get patched up, and then let's get ready to push in.
Stevens is good to go. Blue's good to go.
Chance is good to go.
Mother!
Alright, let's pump smoke and get across this field as everyone's ready.
Copy. Blue will cover if you
I
guys
got
want
it
to
set
advance
to
first.
Dagger, I got my lays on. Copy. Hardman,
Back up.
Roberts, you guys ready?
I just went down, you guys start moving, I'm just gonna bandage up.
Warlord Dagger, looks like we have 100 over 100. Get across this field, Roberts.
Good copy, 100 over 100, break. All stations 7-0, be advised, we are starting to push into town at this time.
Thunder.
Alright, Chance, you disappeared into the cloud of yellow smoke, right?
April.
Copy, pushing in behind you.
Avery, that's you pushing up already, correct? Yeah. Avery.
Alright, Roberts, you up here with us?
Yeah, I'm getting up there now.
Copy.
Blue's pushing into a courtyard.
Copy, Chance, just hold where you're at, I'm just waiting for Roberts to catch us.
Copy, I'm hooked up with Blue.
Alright, Roberts, on me. Alright, copy, you guys went left into that white courtyard, right?
Roger.
Roger. I heard some earlier reports of some more assets in town. Let's try and figure out what they were and get those dead before they eat us up.
Warlord Dagger Scepter.
This is Warlord 2-1, Senate.
2-1 Dagger. Need a recon of the northern portion of Theresa for enemy armor or other assets.
Sorry, Armin, you're leading them the wrong way.
2-1 Dagger, how'd you copy?
I didn't even realize I was leaning.
Warlord 3G, copy.
When I tried to pick Chance up when you were dragging him, it completely fucked me up.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Do not
Got a
shoot
guy,
that
left,
friendly's
right,
head.
cloud.
This is Warlord 3-3. Northern part of Teresa looks clear from armor. No thermal contacts at this time.
Yeah, I think I got him.
Copy. All air assets. Continue recon. Pushing into grids 106123 by 105122.
Armin, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go low, I'll go high.
Oh, copy.
Warlord 2-1, copy.
Thunder.
Avery?
Dagger, Thunder on 7-0, advise we're ready for spot check.
Thunder, go ahead.
Be advised, the only vehicle in the town I can see at the moment is previously marked at that mortar pit location. It's a UAZ, an armed UAZ. Other than that, the town looks only to have hostile enemies in it.
Copy that, Thunder. Good on all. Break. Go ahead and between both Warlords and Thunder, start scanning the perimeter of town. Break. Dagger element is going to get a bit of a foothold here, and then we're going to assess our pathway forward through the town.
Thunder.
Alright, here's the plan.
Warlord.
We're only going to be clearing buildings that we're engaged from. We're going to begin by pushing north to the northern end, then down to the east, through the graveyard, all the way across. And at the church, we're going to split off into our teams. One team will take the southern end, the other team will take the northern end, and we'll continue from there. Questions?
All good on you.
Alright, let's get pushing north.
Alright, we'll huck around this further northern side of this building. Keep moving up.
Armin, you owe me?
1 second.
Real quick, I gotta shoot off to work now, so I'll see you guys when I see you.
Good copy. Phoenix 2-1, this is Dagger on 7-0.
Warlord 2-1, go ahead.
Cross.
Be advised, relay for Chief Blair, that's an A firm from us, we are good to go.
Last man.
Dagger, Thunder, be advised, we just heard blank space there.
What is happening with my comms today? How copy?
No idea. How copy?
Yeah, good copy. Alright, be advised, that was just a relay for Phoenix 2-1 advising that we are good to continue on the ground given his message regarding time.
Pushing across.
I got you high.
Got it.
Inch up a little bit.
Yeah, let's get Warlord on that.
Roger. Nope.
Give us what you got.
We got eyes on one-time squad in the open near Mark 0926, just a little bit north of it. We're gonna get Warlord on
Thunder
it.
when able.
Thunder, go ahead. Have Warlord on it, give the walk some gun practice.
2 marks out to your northeast.
Hop in the fence.
2 sets of enemy infantry squads. Other than that, thermals look clear to your north.
Good copy, break. Warlord, stand by for tasking out to the north. I got your high chance.
Yeah, I got the corner. Alright, go ahead and...
We have 2-1 and who?
Building.
2-1 and 3-1 or something.
Okay, do you think it's too much to have them come in one behind the other on the same timeline?
That's fine. Oh, no, the walks aren't flying. Yeah, it should be fine.
Warlord, Thunder, 7-0.
Thunder's Warlord 2-1.
Flush out.
Roger, can you just confirm whether you heard Dagger then?
I'm holding out here.
Negative. Dagger, this is Warlord 2-1. Can you say again, over?
Yeah, copy 2-1, Warlord 2-1 and Warlord 3-1. I have 5-line traffic for you. Advise when you're ready.
Copy 2-1, ready.
3-1 ready.
Type 1 control, questing guns, 500 to the west. Correction, 50 kilometers to the west.
I think you mean meters.
Target. Correction, 50 meters to the west. Target is grid 110122, marked 0926.
I'm getting
Squad
no chance.
infantry in the open. Advise ready for remarks.
2-1, copy. Type 1 control guns, friendlies 50 meters to the west. Target location 110122, correction, Blue 4 reference 0926. Target description squad, go ahead with remarks.
2-1, you're going to be lead element. Advise approach from the south, followed by 3-1. 2-1, call your approach, and 3-1 follow in 30 seconds later.
3-1 copies. Direct.
2-1, copy. Approach from the south.
Thunder, this is Dagger on 70.
Dagger, Thunder, go ahead.
Thunder, stand by for tasking.
Dagger, Thunder, standing by 70.
Good copy, Thunder. You still got eyes on that GZ in the middle of town?
Roger.
Affirm.
Roger, this is going to be danger close break. Friendlies are inside of a probably 150 meters break. Clear type 3 with self-laser Liger on that GZ.
Avery, you good? Yeah, I'm pushing with LT over here.
Dagger, Thunder,
Did you
copies
just call
will be
a,
in with Liger after
that
Warlord.
UAZ right across from us?
That's the one.
Alright, let's get us backed up a little bit. Come back across the road.
Thunder, say again. No, we're good.
Just waiting on Warlord to come in so I'm not firing across their nose.
Good copy on all. The deconfliction check was the entire point of the cast. Complete cast. We're not going to run it.
Dagger Warlord 2-1.
Let's get a chance. Go ahead, 2-1.
We have that target ready for guns.
Cleared hot.
Guns.
3-1, bring your attack run in.
Might be a danger close.
Those mortar gunners are still up. We need to get indirect fire on them. If we try and shoot at them, it's going to be bad. Chance on me.
Dagger, silent.
Be advised, that corner was locked down earlier. Well, never mind, I guess you guys are good now.
2-1, are you out?
This is Avery, I'm out comms, 1 mic on green smoke.
Dagger Warlord 2-1.
Copy, Avery.
Send traffic.
Run complete. Looks like 100 over 100.
Copy, 3-1.
3-1 is in on your location.
Good work,
30
Chance.
seconds.
Solid copy. Look for your stragglers in there and clean them up.
Dagger, Thunder, visual green smoke.
Disregard green.
Guns.
Copy guns.
Oh, they do sound close. What's the approximate distance on that?
Dagger,
Gunner,
Thunder,
they're about 1.5
Dagger, Thunder, 70, be advised, Warlord's BDA is 100 over 100, that squad is down.
Good copy, Thunder, Tango Mike. Chance, you've got eyes on that?
Negative, I do have eyes on Warlord. He's very close.
Roger. Stevens, make sure he pushes out now that cast run's been called.
Yeah, copy that. I'm gonna go ahead and stage Warlord 2-1 out behind TACP Hill.
Good copy.
Alright, let's get moved up to this church here.
2-1, 2-1 Dagger. Go ahead and start moving to grid
Last man, I'll take
090113, stage behind Hill.
in front of you, Chance. Go on low.
Marked Riga. You guys are moving up to the church, confirm?
Confirm.
Affirm.
Dagger 121, solid copy.
I'm gonna go straight around the corner and into the church.
Smoke. Rick.
Going in.
Let's have you just stage here until Avery gets
Church
here.
looks good.
We'll be with you, and then once we're all good, we'll continue moving.
Alright, copy.
Alright, we're locked down inside the church.
I know you popped green smoke near that position.
Somewhere that direction.
Affirm. Alright, we're locked down inside the church. I need you guys to try and find our shooter across the street.
Grid 105123.
Got him, XO.
Eyes on him.
Moving in. Finally coming in. Changing.
Stevens, go ahead, regroup with us in the church for a minute. I'm gonna be sitting over here doing another thing for 30 seconds.
Affirm, if you just want me to leave Avery.
Who fucking robbed?
Oh, that's my bad. No, stick with him for now.
Yes, I'll copy.
Alright, while I set this up real quick, what do you guys have that you feel we need to specifically work on from a ground perspective?
Pop-up attack.
Copy that.
Dagger Thunder 70.
Go ahead.
Go for Dagger.
Be advised, the other side of that house you guys are currently on is where the UAZ is located.
UAZ's been eliminated this time.
Roger.
Dagger Warlord 2170.
2-1, send it.
Be advised, we are in position for pop-ups 00088.
Break. Traffic on 70. Dagger Warlord 31. Be advised, we have radar contact out to our 045. Looks to be out to the west side of the AO. How copy?
Copy, radar contact out to the west side of the AO. Can you confirm type?
Stand by on 70. We're gonna move around to reconfirm break.
Dagger Thunder emergency traffic. Be advised, I've got a T-72, 2 T-90s, and a Tunguska. Break. Currently grid 106132.
Good copy, Thunder.
Copy 106132.
Alright, you wanted pop-up attacks? Go pop-up attack.
And be advised, they are moving towards your position.
Evans, you
Dagger
want me to get it?
Warlord 3170.
Yeah, if you would send the first one. We're in a kind of a bad spot here.
Warlord 2-1, Dagger, requesting 1 times Kilo Hellfire towards grid 106132. Requesting you take out that Tunguska. You're gonna have to self-laze.
We're pushing up to the church time now.
We're about to leave the church. We got to shoot it down the road on the
Dagger,
southeast side.
Warlord 2-1, copy last.
Yeah, here's on that shooter.
We will take out that Tunguska 106132.
Going crossover.
Affirm.
Yeah. I'm over. Okay.
Thunder, go ahead and just push IP Echo. Stand by.
Dagger, Thunder's currently out to the west. Do you want me to push Echo again?
Pressing a little bit. I see something in the window. I can't tell what it is.
Or can we do it from the west?
You advise you are to my...
Yeah, nice.
Oh,
nice.
disregard.
Alright, so if that stuff's coming in from the north, we need to push north to get eyes on.
Okay, we're going back north.
Alright, we got a 2-story building direct north of us we can utilize.
I suppose technically it's
Eyes on
northeast. But
Cleared up.
I had a chance, I'm outside.
Affirm, Thunder, stay by IP Echo. That was my apologies. I labeled the IPs incorrectly.
Ooh, how'd
Contact
that
down.
happen there?
Dagger Warlord 2-1,
Copy.
rifle.
You got
Hey,
the
we're just
rifle.
going to start pushing to the two-story.
Warlord, clarification, are you rifle twice, or are you rifle once and just saying it twice?
I got a little over exuberant, I rifled once.
Copy, I'm hearing cook-off, sounds good to me.
A firm, Thunder confirms
Let's go, Chance.
BDA's 100 over 100.
Alright, Dagger, we're heading for the fucking giant pile of smoke.
Be advised, you still do have those 3 tanks coming towards you.
Yeah, be advised, Dagger Element's repositioning to hopefully get eyes on for some pop-ups from Warlord. Oh shit, they are close. Get behind cover!
Warlord, send a kilo, just launch it,
we do have eyes and are in position to engage on those tanks.
Break. Warlord, send a kilo. Just launch it. I got the lays.
Alright, no one go lays hot while we're doing this. We're inside of probably 200 meters.
Copy, Warlord 2-1.
Rifle.
Good hit, break.
I hear the other... Oh, it's on the road! It's on
Warlord, send another.
Alright, is that your lays, Chance?
A firm's gonna be danger close.
Copy.
Rifle.
Stevens, I want you and Avery to start hunting for the third tank.
3170, be advised it's going to be 1 times munition fired, not 2 individual rifles, over.
Say your last.
Dismounts.
Super.
Advise chances down, took a direct MBT shot.
I'm gonna stay low. Oh shit, where's he at? I can't see him.
Advise chances down, I got dismounted infantry to about 50 meters to my fucking northeast.
Dagger, I can get a laze on that 3rd MBT if you need it.
Thunder, Dagger, go ahead and laze that for Warlord.
Nice use of the buddy lays.
Dagger, Warlord 3170, we are Winchester on kilos, over.
Copy, 2-1, how's your kilo?
Oh, eyes on it.
2-1, emergency traffic, need cast time now on Thunder's lays.
We're gonna need to gain some altitude. Yeah.
Warlord 2-1, Thunder, can you confirm, did you hear Dagger's last message?
Negative. Dagger, can you say again?
Thunder, go ahead and relay.
Do you currently still have kilos on board?
Hey, firm, I have 3 Hellfire kilos.
Chance, how you doing?
Dagger, confirm you hit.
I'm back behind the shack.
Yep, go ahead and have him kill it. You're on your lays.
Exo, you still good?
Copy, popping up.
Copy.
Thunder's laser's hot.
Right. Dagger, Warlord, rifle.
Dude, who is keying up like that?
Alright,
Copy, rifle.
I'll address it in debrief, but that's a fantastic time to switch ordnance off the kilo.
Copy.
Is that another tank?
Thunder, you got PDA on that?
Definitely still active.
What was that?
Exo, you still up?
All assets,
Exo's
you guys still
Alright,
have 1 times active, or correction, theoretically 1 times active MBT out there. Need somebody to find it for me?
I got it lased.
Dagger, Thunder's got lays on it, however that last kilo did not hit it.
Thunder, go ahead and bring in ordnance at your discretion, type 3, kill it.
You good?
I'm good, but we need to pull back if he's coming in type 3 within 100 meters.
Alright, pull back to the church.
Popping green
Dagger,
on our
Thunder,
pods.
rifle.
Get back to the church.
I'm moving, I'm just putting out smoke.
We're in good cover right here.
Good copy, Thunder. And it's dead.
Splash and cool. PDA is going to be 100 over 100.
Hey, Chief Blair, you up on 7-0?
Go ahead, I'm on short range.
Roger, Chief Blair, be advised, we still got 1x infantry squad out to the northeast side of town if you want to put a warlord on it with guns, otherwise we're probably good to wrap it up.
Okay, firm. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put Warlord 2 on it since we got the first one.
Copy on all, I'll leave that at your discretion, we're going to keep pushing on the ground. Dagger.
Dagger, Thunder's going to be signing off 7-0, transition 7-1 and 7-5 back to Gravia.
Go ahead, Thunder.
All air sets be advised, friendly have occupied 1x gas.
Stevens, Avery, once you guys have got a base set up, let us know and we'll leapfrog up to you.
And you'll leave what?
We'll bound up to you once you've got a position set.
We're on top of Thunder 6-2.
I thought it looked like you were pushing out. Alright, then chance on me, let's start pushing. We'll just let these guys finish their cast run and then we'll end exit.
Dagger, this is Warlord 3-1 on...
Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the next building.
Get a BDA on those infantry squad over.
I'll be advised, Dagger Element had no eyes on that cast at this time, so you'll have to put your own eyes on and observe or coordinate with the other Warlord.
Copy all, Dagger. Will advise.
Stevens, you good?
We're good, we got 1x moving order. Infantry here.
Come with you. Warlord Dagger sends here.
Warlord Dagger. Dagger Warlord send traffic.
Warlord, go ahead and advise that BDA once you get it.
Advise advanced on your left.
Copy all.
Frag
It
out.
looks like
Frag
Gunners
out.
tell me we got times 3 survivors. Do you want another run of guns? Wipe them up, or you guys got it?
Go ahead and clean them up.
Copy all.
Guns, guns,
Warlord, guns.
Oh, we're good.
RP advised that the Carbon's having some tech issues.
I'm good.
It's not just Hardman.
Is it everyone?
Affirmative, we're seeing a bit of a drop there.
Where is that?
He's down.
Oof. God, that was painful. Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna patch up and then we are probably gonna have to wrap
Dagger,
it before
Warlord
the server
3,
explodes.
7-0.
Go for Dagger.
Be advised, Gunner is confirming no more movement down there by the infantry squad. It's called 100 over 100. You can confirm over.
Good copy. Warlord 2-1 and Warlord 3-2. You guys are cleared to RTV.
3-1 copies.
Alright, let's
we're gonna
bust
be
out
RVing with,
into the open field on the north
2-1
side of
over
town
Hill.
and do a simulated fucking extract.
Copy.
Warlord, if you could, Warlord 2-1, if you could uniform change to 1x Phoenix.
No, it'll take too fucking long. We'll just call it. By the time we're done debriefing, we're going to be pushing 3 hours.
Push into the wall over here.
Hopefully, T-72 out in the open is not alive.
I mean, that is a good thing to hope for.
I think its turret's disabled.
Would be a better thing to know. Well, it's not killing us.
It's definitely dead. Like, it's definitely disabled. You can see it. The armor on it's all fucked up.
Alright, passing. Hold the corner.
Alright.
That I'm going to.
Go on. Good.
Alright, we're gonna pretend this tree is a fucking Black Hawk. Once everyone's here, we'll go back to base.
Steven's in.
You didn't. Alright, I'll pop a flag down. Alright, I'll meet everyone back at Gravia. Don't forget to condition 4.
Hey there. Hey there, Alfie.
And yes, that squad was 100 over 100 they were shooting at.
Did the deltas work at all? Did you use any?
On that last MB2.
Speak up, Nancy.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I was on whispering.
That's good. Okay, so before Rotary come in here and make a lot of noise, just want to debrief some of the ground stuff real quick. A lot of this I am guilty of as well, so we're just going to talk about it real quick just to make sure that everyone is aware of the things that we fucked up. Don't forget some of the basics that we tend to always neglect in our trainings. For example, me treating chance in the open. Very bad idea. Firing past friendlies, getting into gunfights through doorways. The normal stuff that you always hear people getting torn up for doing wrong. Couple of things that I do want to touch on. One of them is a fairly consistent issue on the I suppose it's more of an issue on the Friday aviation trainings more than anything else, is comms discipline on 7-0 when there's a lot happening. On ground nets we can be a little bit more fluid, but we got to remember that if someone's calling us on 7-0 or if there's tasking we're trying to complete, we got to remember the way that the priority of that traffic stacks. It can be quite easy when we're dealing with such a hectic environment to forget some of those things, and there was more than one call for Dagger tonight that went unanswered over other traffic. Now they didn't escalate their traffic, so it's probably fine, but do just keep it in mind. I'm going to touch on the out of kilos issue with Warlord. We do have a propensity to love using the kilos, but don't forget the value of the lemurs, I guess I would say. The fact that they can radar lock a target without us having to see it, without there being a lot of ambiguity about what target is what or whose laser's hot, etc. Just because a warlord's out of kilos doesn't mean they're not effective against armor. The lemurs are the exact same munition, they just have a different tracker on the front of them. They'll lock onto radar instead. Sergeant Stevens, go ahead.
Sergeant Hardman, yeah, thank you. The reason I was actually really specifically calling for a kilo on a laser on that is because we had multiple targets out there, and I wanted to make sure the one I was looking at was the one that was getting dead, since they were in close proximity, and that was the one that was most dangerous to us right then. That was the only reason I was looking for a kilo at that time.
No, and look, I completely understand and it's one of those things, right? I think there's an argument to be made either way, because killing the right target versus killing possibly the wrong target quickly, I think in that situation we had a lot of stuff happening very close together, so being able to point a laser at a thing and say, no, this one, you were actually probably correct, but I just wanted to flag it because a lot of the time we do make specific munitions requests that we don't specifically need to, so I do just like to bring it up whenever it comes up, so because it took a minute to figure out, you know what I'm saying? Like, by the time they didn't hear you for whatever reason, because they were probably talking internally because they're student pilots flying, well, student pilots gunning, and so on. So by the time that all got resolved, it was a minute. That's all. That's the only reason I kind of bring it up. Lieutenant Ringrose, go ahead.
Just on that, by the way, what you said, Sergeant Hardman, about lasing a target, even if they're going to use a lemur on it or whatever, from both a rotary point of view and a thunder point of view, that makes it so much easier because we can tell, okay, you're specifically talking about this MBT, this BTR or whatever. So even if you're requesting guns on it, if you can get a laser on it, it does help us.
True, because
Copy that,
it
LT.
gives you a clear indicator of what we're looking at. That's a good point. Thanks, LT.
Just
yeah, it
real
was just
quick. It also helps
Go
with
ahead.
finding like enemy air contacts. If there's enemy air, if you laze it, even if it's just for a brief second, we can find it pretty easily.
Yeah, that's true. It can be hard to keep a laze on a moving helicopter, but it's it definitely helps a lot. I know that we do training on that every probably 2 months with Deco. They'll put some enemy air down and do some evasion stuff, and being able to put a laze on it, even if it's behind them and chasing them, or even if they're not looking to actively engage it, because the laser pops up on their HUD, it gives them a good indication of where that threat is relative to them if they're not getting it show up on radar. But other than that, I mean, in terms of I think we handled the check-ins while moving pretty well. We handled juggling tasks between everyone pretty well. People were sort of jumping in and picking up the slack where we needed to, which is exactly what I want to see out of a Dagger element, is the task sharing between people on 7-0 is exactly the sort of thing we need to see more of. So it was good to see that happening. Exo, did you have anything that you wanted to touch on?
2 points. One of them involves rotary, so I'll wait till they're here to talk to that. The other one, though, is all Dagger elements carry 320s, correct?
Affirmative.
Okay. So that being said, when we pushed up onto that village finally, when we were pushed up on the town, don't forget, if you got an open space like that, it's much more effective to just use your 320s, put smoke right in their face, and rather than doing smoke inside, right by hand-thrown smoke, because you're obscuring their field of view a hell of a lot more, and you're not burning up all your hand smoke in a situation where you don't have to. So, fairly minor point, but just something to keep in mind. And then, like I said, the other thing I've got involves rotary, so I'll wait till they're here to go over it.
Good copy, thanks, XO. Actually, that reminds me too, because traditionally we haven't carried a lot of yellow smoke. Company SOP requires us to carry it now, so everyone should make sure that their Dagger loadout is in accordance with the SOP in terms of making sure you're carrying at least a certain number of lethal munitions, as well as a certain number of yellow smokes, as well as a required quantity in there of green smokes as well. So just keep that in mind. Make sure everyone is in accordance with the SOP change.
Sergeant Hardman, how many yellows versus red are you carrying? Because I'm not carrying any yellow. I have not carried any yellow, and I'm like pretty freaking heavy right now.
Yeah, I'll reload my loadout because it's a little empty right now, and I'll go over the numbers. But I think I'm carrying right now. I've got 4 yellow, 4 green, 4 red, 10 HEDPs, 5 Hunt IRs is what I've got left. I don't remember what I fired. I'm running at 35 kilos right now, but I've spent a good amount of time fine-tuning this loadout, so I'll share it.
How many mags do you carry?
8. And even then, about 7 of those are pointless.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll be looking to see your loadout again, because I'm not sure where I'm over or loading here.
Okay, good copy. We'll cover that once everyone else is wrapped up. So, Chief Blair, that's all of your guys back with us now, is that correct?
Affirm.
Alright, then we've done a little bit of a debrief from the stuff that I noticed on the ground, so over to you to handle anything you want to debrief on.
Affirm. So, just a quick for our 2 guys that we were kind of focusing on here. Completely understand, first off, that may have been your first time running through that for Walk Edwards, and Chief Alpha, I know it's been a while since you were in the bird last time. So we just wanted to make sure...
Alright, boys and girls, this is going to take a hot minute probably for us to get this debrief wrapped up, so I'm going to call the stream there. Thank you guys for hanging out and seeing us blow some stuff up. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said before, I'll be back at this tomorrow. I am doing more JTAC stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm teaching JTAC qualifications. And then I'll be back here on Sunday for Task Force Alpha. So thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys next time.